So good evening and welcome to the Donny Chain Gang with me, Matt Payne, and you can tell it's warm in here. Even steamed up the camera lens as the temperatures got up. A very busy week on the Donny Chain Gang with Donny Chain Gang on Tuesday, which was amazing, really well controlled. Got a sprint in there as well with Jimmy, our leader, the Wolf, being very sly and leaving it till late. We also, of course, had the Women's Only Wednesday on weekend. You can see how warm it is. It's steaming the cameras up absolutely mad at the moment. There we go. Let's see if it'll hold the focus. It might be a minor miracle today. And we had the Women's Wednesday, and that was very, very busy indeed. And we had a great ride there with a fantastic sprint finish. And a perfect example of why we always say to strong riders, drop back. Two of our riders, Joe Munden and Sammy Stewart, dropping back to pick up Georgia Mahoney of the Cycling Talk podcast and bring it up to the front group again, as she just got distance on a course that was anything but the flat lines as it was described in Georgia. Then really did a great ride, staying in there as well, going back with them. It was a very, very busy evening indeed. And on top of that, of course, got two giveaways. A massive thank you to Scott Sports, to Joff, who is one of our regular riders and providing tickets from Scott Sports to the Ruler Live. Chris Bull heading down, and he's taking Conor McGuigan, another rider who's on the Chain Gang regularly. And of course, we've then got Caroline and Neil heading down, and Caroline winning those tickets yesterday on the Women's Only Wednesdays. Now, today, once again, Jimmy is back with us. The Wolf will be in charge of affairs as a Yellow Beacon. If you've not ridden before, you've not seen it before, really easy. Ramped workout. And the ramped workout basically then means that what we do is we build the speed up, we build up the pace, we get people into the right place, the right time, and then the trigger is given. Now, the man responsible for that trigger today, it is Jimmy Allen, and hopefully Jimmy's on the end of the line at the moment. Evening, Jimmy.
Hi, mate. Good evening.
Good evening. Are
you well?
I am indeed well. You sound out of breath.
Oh, I've been working hard, mate. Yeah, I've been. To be honest, I've been falling asleep on the sofa. I've been having to sort of slap myself a few times. I've had a busy day, but yeah, I'll get on it. As soon as I get the legs going, you're on it, aren't you? So.
Well,
no complaints.
Yeah, I'd imagine the Wolf will be smelling blood and ready to pounce, because we had a great ride on Tuesday. I've got to say, it was really good fun to watch. All the shenanigans as everybody was all twitchy, waiting to go. And the work that was done to bring people back was brilliant. Another good ride last night. And the gang's working well together at the moment. And it's going to be big numbers tonight. So they're going to need to be on their A game, aren't they?
Yeah, it's to be honest though, it has been pretty slick the last few weeks, hasn't it? It's we keep saying it's people sort of know the drill and people know how Zwift works now, and people are getting to know sort of the quirks of Zwift and getting tight on the descents and sort of making sure they don't go too crazy on the climbs and stuff. And it's been pretty much plain sailing, to be honest.
Famous last words. Famous last words. So let's hope you haven't just cursed that, because it should be a busy one tonight. And I think we've got a route that we've never done before, and that is going to test our riders, particularly anybody who's maybe new here. I know we've already got Mr. Tulio from Brixton CC, a new rider on. Any words of advice for anybody first time on the gang?
Yeah, sort of don't sort of try and stay off the front, especially when it's strung out. You know, if people are off the back, we sort of try and bring it together. So stay off the front then, particularly. Don't chase the front. And most important of all, don't panic, you know, because we all look after each other, and we'll look after each other until the go. And as people know, the go is going to go anywhere from 15 kilometres out to 25 kilometres out. So, you know, I'm not sort of giving too much away, but you never know. We'll go on feel. We'll go on feel and just see how everybody's getting on, and you know, we'll probably get a good 15-20 minute workout at the end. So there's plenty of time to get a workout. There's no need to panic.
Yep, definitely.
Just
that's what. chill out as much as you can whilst you're trying to all pile onto the yellow beacon. And this route's quite bumpy. It puts in quite a lot of climbing for what is basically a very short kicker up. So going to be interesting. I actually went out and gave it a spin round the circuit. It's been a while since I've been around the volcano inside, I must admit, with the all the expansions to Zwift. And riding around it today, giving it some big beans, thinking, yeah, okay, I remember why doing this in like a 5-minute lap is pretty horrible. It's surprising once it starts to get very, very busy, definitely.
Yeah, but it's a good. I think. Well, I'll say I've raced on it on other Zwift events, and I think it's a good racing course for the end. It's got that interesting little kick before the finish, hasn't it? So it can split a little bit there, but it's a little bit too far out, maybe to keep it going. If people are keen, you can bring things back. So should be interesting to see how it goes. See how it goes. And what was it? 9 laps, isn't it? 9 laps.
It's 9 laps. Right. In theory, it's 2.5k in 9 laps of 4k, which should just get us a little bit of a warm down of about 500 meters. It's going to be close. So we'll see how that's going to pan on. I'm sure we're going to be chatting at some point on the way round. Although today could be entertaining to get in touch. We will see. We will see. So good luck, Jimmy.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Enjoy. Cheers, mate.
See you later. Bye.
Well, great to catch up with Jimmy Allen. Let's show you the route we're talking about here. The Volcano Circuit. This is an absolute classic from the old days of Zwift. We actually start at the top right-hand side of the map. We come in a little bit further out than the standard spawning point, just before the bridge, come over the glass bridge, and then we go in to the Volcano Circuit with those kickers coming in and round. Now, this is raced in both directions, the circuit. Essentially, what you've got to remember is that the circuit gives you a 4k lap. We're going to do 9 laps, and there is a lap counter as you go round underneath the archway as you come through. Now, Jimmy Allen is our yellow beacon, the man with the best bus in the business, even if he is a cheeky what's it for saying I would remember a film by the same name, is Johnny Atkinson. Johnny, I'm not that old. I was only 2 when that film came out. Johnny is going to have his work cut out, though. Johnny's one of our fast men, and I think everybody in safe hands in terms of dragging people back into the group. We'll see if Johnny can serve the correct drinks and snacks as well on the bus. We will see how it rolls as we go in. So as you can see, 9 laps of 4k, finishing at the Volcano lap arch, and that's the lava lap arch at the top with the lap counter. We'll warm down to the blue band, and that should give us about 500 meters of warm down, and a total elevation, it's quite surprising because it feels super flat, 166 meters. Let's translate that into the profile. So we'll move from our fantastic Zwift Hacks map, courtesy of Zwift Insider, across to Zwift Insider Verified Volcano Circuit, courtesy of VeloViewer, Ben Lowe, and all of the team regulars on the chain gang and regularly in here. So let's see who it is who is going to be rolling and heading out on to the circuit in keeping it comfy. We've got a big cast of well over 100 riders now, and that means that if you're on the front you will not see the back, and if you're at the back you will not see the front. So please remember, guys, you need to be aware of where the yellow beacon is. Everybody needs to pile on to yellow. Now, let's dive across to the riders. They're just lining up. You can see the clock ticking down on your screen, the message board over on the side, and nicely ticking along as it goes through. We start off in downtown Watopia, and then we're going to head out from here up towards the volcano proper, and then 9 laps of the circuit. And remember, this all about staying with the yellow beacon, working together and learning how the Zwift ride will run. We are going to jump in very quickly indeed with our riders, and there is a reason for that today, because we know that today could be a very entertaining day from our point of view, just from the minor fact that the wonders of the companion app not showing me who's on the ride today. So it's going to be the old school manual non-companion app, just like everybody else, which is great fun actually, because it means I get to move the mouse at about a lightning speed and hope I don't lose it on the multiple screens that it spins across here. So as we just see the riders heading out, we're just in with Jason Stevens, one of the members of the DCG gang, and you can see top of the screen, 99 watts at the moment, just rolling it out nicely. 84 revs per minute, 127 beats per minute. Just a little further over, you can just see that currently covering 38 kph, 0.2k done, and no meters climbed. 34 seconds into the ride. Now, far side, right over the far side, you'll see the map. Now, we will be spinning this map about a little bit, and this is going to be essentially just because it makes our life a little bit easier and yours, because we can move the map around. So we can go directly above people in the traditional 2D version. We can scroll out and see where our riders are relative to the rest of the world of Zwift, particularly of Watopia here today. And of course, we can go back to the 3D view, which is always good fun and makes it easier to interpret. Now, remember, all of the riders, the aim here is to get the gang up and rolling and heading out. So as we make our way out onto the circuit, we're just going to keep an eye on everybody. Let's make sure we get everybody out in one piece here on the Donny Chain Gang, live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. So, riders underway here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, and indeed the Cannonball is back with us. We are going to work our way just towards the back of the group at the moment. Ian Bale, I think, holding up the end. Let's have a little look here. Looks like Ian just pushing his way in towards the back of that group, just a little lined out at the moment, and just needs to pull itself back in. But remember, the instructions will all be coming from our ride leader now. Just seeing Mark Thorpe joining late, Mr. Drabble, a late joiner as well. They'll drop magically into the pack. So the aim is going to be rolling around at about 2.525 watts per kilo. So here we are. Let's just have a little bit of a check. It looks to me like we are just starting to see a few gaps just up the road from these riders. Let's jump in with our yellow beacon, Jimmy Allen. Jimmy, of course, our beacon, and the man, the wolf, back in action once again. Very experienced Zwift rider. You don't get those disc wheels until you're over level 42. So at the moment, I think we've got pretty much everybody in. The red beacon is the last man on the road today. As we come onto the circuit, going on to the volcano circuit, and the new drafting that is part of Watopia definitely taking effect. So going to see people just rolling around and being moved about. It's quite realistic because you can't generally inhabit the same space as another avatar, although it does get very close at times, a bit like a real chain gang. There's plenty of squeezing in. So just watching our riders. Don't get plenty of riders still making the way in to the chain gang. We're going to have a little roll up the front here and just take a little bit of a check. Oh, Jimmy Allen, that's a bit mean. Have we ever had a GoGoGo at 35k? Is that to go or gone? That would be entertaining, that's for sure. Good to see Dan from Evo in with us. Mr. Mason in, Beefy's in here, Mike Killingsworth and the gang. I think everybody at the moment just nicely ticking along. Nobody doing the football up at the front. So just rolling our way back through the pack, and that bunch just starting to zoom up. You can just see if we zoom in, basically that bunch are pretty close at the moment. So let's see how it goes. Currently at 2.5k to go. Sorry, 2.5k done from the start line. Let's have a little bit of a check. Mr. Dorsey has got a pot of tea on the go. It's only coffee for me, Grand Tour coffee. The Cannonball's turned 60. I can't actually believe that. Andy, currently I'm liking the facial hair, mate. It certainly looks good. I was talking to Andy on the phone, and he definitely doesn't look that age. That is for sure. as he's just making his way in now. Looks like Isaac Oliver just having to have a little bit of a stop here, so let's see how he's going. But the group all together as we come underneath the archway. I'm just running, so 9 laps to go to the finish, hitting that pretty much bang on the 2.6 mark, which is what we wanted. I'll just try and get away from our avatar sat on the start line. I'll tell you, our avatar gets very lonely indeed, that is for sure. So the group riding along, just keeping nice and smooth at the moment. Everybody knows there's no point in going mad early on, because all that will happen is you'll blow your socks off, you get caught them up and generally really simple. You'll have wasted a whole load of energy that you will need later. That is almost a certainty. Now, our beacon at the back here. Johnny Atkinson, fast man Johnny, gone for the disc, gone for the aero frame here. This is one of the most aerodynamic setups on Zwift. And at the moment, you can just see Johnny just rolling up the back of this pack. He's got some serious pace, though, this man. So, as Mr. Mason says, a fun course to race. This circuit was the standard that was used for all circuit racing when we first had the extension into the volcano from Zwift. That was before we had Crit, and it's going to be interesting to see who's got that speed, because remember, we have a kicker coming up just around the bend. You're going to see it coming in a moment. Let's get the camera up in the air, because you're going to be able to see the road rolling around just beyond the ship there. So we're going to just drop out the stats at the moment, and you'll be able to get a better view. So coming into this hairpin turn up onto the ramp that is just to the right. If we go up, you can see that road coming up. However, the gradient really does kick as our riders go up the side. So you can see that bunch coming around that turn. You just see that little kicker on the inside of the hairpin. And now the riders climbing their way up here. And that gradient at the moment, it just keeps on pushing. You can see riders just jumping into the field at the moment. But as you can see, the gang heading around the turns, and it still isn't over yet, because even on this next section here, it still remains at about 3% until we level off and head in towards the volcano. So you can just see this group working its way out. And looks to me like everybody are just about together as we come up on to the top here, and we're soon going to be heading across and in through the volcano itself proper. Once again, a slight detour in. If we pop the map back up for you, we zoom out to the big zoomed out map. You can see pretty much the entirety of the volcano. So we're about to take that right hand turn. So around this bend we go, just sitting in with Johnny Atkinson as we make our way around the circuit. And don't forget, of course, we will be bringing you the details of our riders that make their way around. So here we go. It's Atkinson holding the back of the pack nicely together as our riders just disappear out of sight. We are going to jump the team in here. So Kieran Brown is with us, the man who was a little bit cold and breezy before, so just making his way into the chain gang. Good to see he's in here. Mr. Finney back in with us, Andy Scotland back in as well. Neil Mornan in the gang here. Mark Thorne, looks like Les Wilcoxon. Good to have Les back in again. Another of our regulars on the chain gang. Matt Crease is in. Dr. D in again, Chris Canham, looks like Alan Parsons in with us. Good to see Alan. He's clearly been released from duties by Dean and the Downing Cycling coaching team. Good to know that Kieran's got new shorts on today. That is a sight that I don't want repeating in my mind after the gaps that we saw. So just watching the groups, not looking too bad at the moment. So just take a little bit of a run up the road, get the drone up in the air. We might even get the helicopter flying as these riders make their way in through. Just watching Mr. Davies at the moment. So you can just see those splits, the front just slowing off, and you can just see the back of the pack here just coming in towards them as we come in past the lava fields. Just a little warm on the top, as if it wasn't warm enough on the turbo. So remember, with well over 100, you will not see the riders who are tucked between our yellow and red beacon if you're on the front. If you're at the back on the red, you're not going to see the riders who are at the front. It is very simple. If you're on the front as it goes over the top of a crest and you don't ease off on the front, you'll see a little bit of a gap open up, and the same as we make our way in along these turns. So at the moment, just in with Colin Bell, Beefy from Cycleways. Nicely tucked in his usual grey and blue kit. Good to see. Chris Goddard is in here. Looks like Mantis is in. Mr. Drabble back in again. Wouldn't discount him when we get this course wound up. And again, you'll notice going for that Cervelo with the DI cut disc there, the lightest and fastest disc in the game. Atkinson just at the back here, and looks like Craig Herring just joining. So good to have Craig back in with us. So just running a little late, but now back in to the gang. So good to see Craig back in, one of our real regular riders. Evening, Craig. And good to have him in the gang quickly back into the pack. And one of our fast men. He's going to be fancying his chances on this course because it is a very, very good course for a ruler style rider, and Craig got plenty of power. He's not the lightest rider, he's not the fastest rider, but what he is an amazing all-rounder, and that is going to make a huge difference. Now looks like Pillsworth just coming on with Richardson at the moment. Woodall just in this group as well, just at the back here, and just taking a look. So Woodall just pushes back into the group. Richardson just patrolling at the back here. One of our regular riders sat at the back of the group. He comes in and through. So 8 to go. Interestingly, the lap board's not scoring on the big screens for us, and that is quite simply because our avatar has gone nowhere. And it's still sat on the start line. So just looking at the lap times, the group lap times, 6:39 for those people who chased on from the back, but the group going around in between 6:47 and about 6:51. That is the spread across the group. The super fast times, the people who have jumped off the, gone from the back to the front, and the group working well at the moment. Just in with Anderson, just on the back. So apologies if there's no first names on the way through, and that is really, really tricky. We're definitely not doing a fast lap. It would indeed be terminal. It wouldn't, not just for the group, but for Jimmy Allen's stress rate. I think it would definitely be terminal if we went through. But as you can see at the moment, the riders just dangling at the back of this group. Need to just push in on those last sections before the downhill. No excuses for not knowing the course. This course is pretty straightforward. You'll do it lap after lap after lap. I'm not panicking, Jimmy, don't worry. You're not completely daft, I am. I'd be tempted to do it. I'm just like feeling seriously mean. Now, Mr. Anderson, time to push on, mate, to get in here. So we're just taking a little bit of a check on here. I think may well be seeing Mr. Atkinson having to just drop back as Anderson is just needing, I think, a little bit of assistance here, pushing at 2-3, but not able to get back in. I think we just see Keith Richardson coming back. I think Johnny Atkinson just about probably going to be heading back as well to drop back in with them. And they could probably do with a hand. So if we've got any of our strong riders who are watching live on the YouTube channel, then now's the time. You just see Atkinson just dropping back to go pick him back up again. You see 1.8 at the moment. So the gang here dropping to pick him up. Here he comes. So they'll just now ramp up alongside him. And this is how we get riders back on. So what you find is you'll find that people will come out at the back of the group. You can rely on certain riders every time to go give a hand. So I think Mr. Genther is going to drop back there. You can just see Anderson behind him. Just going to take a little bit of a check at the back of the group. Easier said than done because you have to wait until it ticks its way in. Now Potts just pushing on here at the back. So Potts going in. All of the gang are working through. Mr. Atkinson, I think you can push on a little bit, mate. because we're just taking a little bit of a check back on our screens. I think everybody in, Mr. Bale and Greg Pillsworth, Ian Bale and Craig Pillsworth, 2 of our regulars on the chain gang. You just see all of a sudden giving it some beans to work their way back onto the back of the pack. And Bale no doubt giving it a bit of a kick just to jump back in with them. So we've got Mr. Mantis is with us. Good to see Mr. Tulio in here from Brixton. So let's have a look. So it looks like Jimmy Allen giving out some options. There may well be an option for a sprint coming up. Taylor Leach in. Looks like Gail Phillips in. A bit of a split in the middle of the group here. So it looks like that group just splitting, not paying attention to the where the beacon is at the back. So there is a bit of a gap opened up between the riders at the moment. You can see the yellow beacon. This is what we regard as the front of the ride. Mr. Stevens, I'm not surprised your legs are shredded from Tuesday. Tuesday was brutal. It was a brilliant day on the chain gang, but it was brutal. So at the moment, you can just see the gang just working together. As it says, don't chase the front. Let the front come back to the yellow beacon, not vice versa, because all that will happen is you just end up playing, as the Bear would put it, under nines football. So we're going to get a drone out before it gets walloped on the way through. The riders on the way through. If we push the helicopter up, you can see the yellow beacon group. It's got strength in depth. If we go back to our drone cam up above, you can see a few of the riders at the moment just needing to take some tension off the pedals, because the group in front of the yellow beacon, well, oh look, there's nobody up the road from the yellow beacon, because guess what? You ain't in the ride no more. Amazing what you can do with the power of a drone cam. So just going past the glass bridge that brought us on to the volcano circuit. And Jimmy knows exactly what he's doing. He's ridden this game so many times, sitting in there, holding the pack, holding the pace. People who are burning their legs up, using excess energy up at the front, wasting energy. You'll need it later in the ride, I can guarantee it. So the yellow beacon group still to make its way back in to the tunnel. You can just see Gareth Mason on the outside, closest to the camera there, in the black with the disc on. And this group looking good at the moment. Drop some more stats back in. You can see Taylor is back in with the group as well. Our yellow beacon. Sorry, our red beacon from Tuesday. This is Mr. Briggs. Nicely tucked in here. Let's have a little look. Carl did the beacon duties on Tuesday, doing a great job. And great to see still sat nicely in here. Another of our new beacons. And thanks to everybody who volunteers for those beacon duties. The rotors open up, I think, currently full until Christmas. It is one of the most rewarding jobs, and everybody wants to be a red beacon because it is great fun. It's really, really rewarding, and that's exactly what we want as our riders come in and through. So this is what we want to see, the group coming together. 7 laps to go. Thank you, Matt, for counting backwards. I honestly do mean that. I hate counting down laps with no lap counter. It's very easy to get distracted by messages coming in or out. That makes things very entertaining indeed. So thank you very much, mate. So through the go. So the question is, what power up are you saving? Bertie Widdowson, a experienced rider on the Zwift. Good to have Bertie back in with us soon. Fast becoming a regular here on the chain gang. He's holding on to his aero if he gets it. Simon, Dynamite, if only you were to get those on this ride. Well, look, I think we have Phil Lavery back in the gang with us tonight. I'm going to just take a double check here. This is a man who we know is incredibly quick, but he's also someone who we know can take victory up here. So you can just see Lavery in here now. This is where you get the close-up at the back shout from the beacon. Quite simply to stop the gaps from going. It's all right if you're a strong rider, you let the gap go. The problem is that you might take somebody out the back who doesn't have the pace or the speed to push back into the back of the group, and that is when everything gets slow, everything gets very difficult for everybody. So you stay in front of the red and behind the yellow is the plan, and that way everybody will be able to stay together. Don't let the gaps go, whatever you do. So again, an en masse blob at the moment in anticipation of the sprint that's likely to be called. You can see everybody on the way through, so not compulsory, don't panic, and we will be trying to stick with the Jimmy Allen group, which will be sitting at 2.5 watts per kilo. And remember, if you're going to sprint, the way to do so is go from the back to the front. Don't go from the front off, because you ain't going to go anywhere quickly at all. So our camera on the ship just looking down across towards the volcano. A quick regroup is going to be required afterwards, and hopefully everybody understands the importance of that. I do say best way to do it is to ride one and then to have the YouTube either on during it or afterwards, because that is a great way to see how everything is rolling and how it all works and what the actions of people have on the group and how that group rides. You don't have to have the commentary on if you don't want to hear me waffling on. Just turn the sound off. If you do want to leave it on, well, every now and then there's the odd nugget of wisdom that will fall out. Generally one that I borrow somebody else. Now it's time to sprint. If you're going to go, this is the time to kick, and you can just see some big numbers coming out. A bit of a leg opener here for the riders as they come around this turn. I suspect they're probably going to be stopping somewhere by the volcano. It's going to be a long one, this. It's a big old kick out here. You can see we've got lots of our regular riders in here. You can see Andy Fraser's back in here. Tom Lindley giving it long gaps at the moment. Now I wonder when we're going to see the call from Jimmy. Just taking a little chance to take a little bit of a run up to the front here. You could just see Kieran Brown after that sprint just easing off. Kieran's opened his legs up. He knows what he needs to do. Now he eases it back down again. Josh Mayland of Halo Wheels. Well, look at this. The Josh going for the retro kit here in the Zeb Peugeot inspired kit. And ticking along at some right old pace there, so absolutely flying now. The group are well and truly strung out, so the call to regroup now, please, guys. You need to find the yellow beacon. We're going to work our way back to him. He's a long way back, I warn you. Here we go. So we'll may well drop right the way back to our red. So just to see how he's getting on, I think he's got the cannonball with him for company. So Jimmy going for an early sprint just to give everybody a chance to open their legs up, to stretch their legs out early. Now you can just see this group just starting to reform as we come up over the top of the lava field as it goes down into the sea and then heading in towards the bridge. If you're past the bridge already, need to ease off on those pedals before you start coming back to the center of the volcano. So at the moment the group slowly reforming. Take the camera up in the air. So just riding with Johnny Atkinson, the red beacon for the day from the CrowdGen team. Now, slowly coming back together again. Ryan, give it a kick, mate. Get yourself in that group. Don't want to leave you behind. Ryan Williams, one of our younger riders, one of the very fast riders, riding for Beeston, coaching by Brian Still. And then don't forget, coaching really does work. And don't forget, of course, that you need somebody who knows what they're talking about. You can't beat an Olympian or two on the coaching team. And of course, the team at Downing Cycling are all they're waiting to go with national chance Olympic riders. The works that we've got riders like Joe Tinley, national champion on the squad, who took that on a home turf at the Crit Champs. Got Tom Stewart in there. We've got a real mix of coaches on the Downing Cycling squad. So 6 to go from Mr. Nunn. Thank you very much, Matt. Matt Nunn, one of the fastest fingers when it came to trying to get hold of the tickets to Ruler. Beaten to it by Chris Ball. He was in the top 3, along with Caroline Mansfield and, of course, Chris Ball, our winner. But as you can see, faster night tonight, too fast to have a competition. And we've run out of tickets, and Ruler started as well. So there you go. Now, good to see we've got Dan from Evo in here, Neil Birmingham in the group. I think this group just nicely starting to come back together again after that little bit of an impetuous sprint there. Very brave, but very effective. So definitely hoping Chris is having a good thing. Very kind of Matt to say. When to risk putting the fan on? Always put it on at the start, mate. Right, Mr. Lavery. Time to close up Phil Lavery, of course, one of our real fast ones. Interesting going for a lightweight bike on here. Good to see that we've got Mick Hawkins back with us again. So Mick on the deep rim, so no sprinting this time, please. Interesting to see that we've got Tiff Fletcher back in the gang again. Good to have Tiff with us. Tiff, of course, riding on Tuesday as well, and Tiff, one of our regular riders, who actually does 3 in a row when we have the women's only Wednesdays on as well. So all about keeping it tight. Jimmy Allen wants to keep the group together and close. Well, I have to say, it's pretty close. Let's get that helicopter up in the air. That's what we want to see. Group all nailed together at the moment. Don't panic. You can just see riders disappearing off the front of that bunch as we come closer. That's really it, because of what you're seeing is the nearest 100 riders to Tiff Fletcher. That means anybody who's off the front isn't going to be on there. You can see Keith Richardson here. Keith, the winner of £200 of the Halo goodies, courtesy of Josh Bellens, who's in the gang here, as we move up on to the steep ramp, back up and round. Well, nice to go out and get a helicopter shot from the eye in the sky as our riders make their way around the side of the volcano. The group not too spread out at the moment as they come along the side here. They're going to be diving back down in towards the volcano bottom, heading back down in towards that lava and down underneath the archway. At that point, our helicopter will pull out of the way, and we're going to go dive down inside. Here we go. So just watching the group go into the volcano. It looks like everybody pretty much together, and the Rose of Watopia a bit quieter on the outside as they come through. So let's pull our stats back in again. It's good to see Chris Sadler is in here. Matt Crease, we've got Alan Parsons. Let's have a little bit of a check down here. Mr. Woodhall just rolling around nicely by that yellow beacon as well. Keith Richardson in here. Mr. Atkinson doing a great job at the back. It's brilliant. Just rolling around the back. Not having too much to do at the moment. So just a little bit strung out at the back here. So just seeing the cannonball at the moment, just distanced a little bit off the wheels here. He's got to get himself back into that pack. Quick push there by the cannonball, put 3.5 watts per kilo. Sees him go into that group. Our two beacons actually riding pretty much at the back of the pack. Looks like young Matt Smith sat at the back here, nicely moving his way through. Well, having watched the entire chat with 5 laps to go, I still think Mr. Ambrose's comment is the best yet by far. So more personal best times. You can just see we're getting quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker, which is the aim of the chain gang. 5 laps to go, remember. It is going to be tight. I reckon we've got about 500 metres sliding room in the mass. Don't blame me, I didn't put the numbers together on this one. I give much meaner routes out than this. When I get the suggestions of where we're going, and when my suggestions go in, you all know about it because it's the blooming horrible and blooming hard. Russ is much nicer than me when it comes to picking routes. So at the moment we're going to be tight on time, but we should be there. So just a quick backstage conversation going on for everybody. This is just to make sure that we're going to hit the numbers that we think we are. We reckon we've got about 500 metres to spare. So it's going to be really close to come underneath the line. So it is going to be very, very close indeed. So we're going to finish at the original lava banner. This will be very, very tight indeed. But we've done it tight in this. We have actually gone into the minus numbers and still made it before. So it can't beat to have a gamble. So over the top, we've gone through the volcano. We're heading out the other side, just rolling our way down. Remember, we're going to finish at, should be about 39.5 in theory. Remember, at 37.5 because 38k the total distance. But let's see how we're rolling. Hi mate, I've just been doing some quick maths here and I've just had a double check on the listing. We're going to end at 38k, not at 40. So, oh. Okay, ladies and gents, so quick regroup by Jimmy Allen and me. We've been doing some double checking on the maps and what's in the system backs in the back of the stage. So we are going to be hitting it. It's going to be just less than 3 laps to go at the moment. And as you can see, the group are pretty much all together at the moment. So it is going to be a fast finishing rip up here. So basically, we've got about 12k from here. So it's about 35. Gives us a little bit of a nice warm down, it has to be said, which is probably going to be needed. So we may well find the Wolf is having a little bit of a check. Time to get a bit of a wriggle on, guys. If you're at the back of this group, you could be in danger. Because you just see our group just pushing on. Looks like Billy Nomate's just dropping off the back of that group. The red beacon at the moment working to get himself back up. Everybody else, well, the call coming from Jimmy Allen to take it steady. Well, expect the unexpected on the Donny Chain Gang. It was never meant to be easy. It's the Donny Chain Gang, and that's exactly what it is. It's going to be a tough one tonight. The mass being done mid-ride by us. You probably even heard something on the commentary as we were hitting the knobs and faders faster than the system could keep up. So Mr. Atkinson just pushing back into the back of that group. The bunch all together as they go up onto the climb. Absolutely glued together here at the moment. You can just see those feather flags going in. As that group is all together, very twitchy at the moment on the front of this group. Very twitchy at the back. You can just see everybody wanting to pile in. And the GoGoGo is gone. We all knew it wasn't going to be long. It's gone. This means it's about 2.5 laps to go. Let's jump in with Ryan, the youngster who we know can get himself up into the mix. Ryan Williams in here from Beeston. He's going to be hopefully our ticket up to the very front of this group because we have 2.5 laps to go. Remember, we're going to be back into that volcano, so this is going to be a fast night here tonight on the Donny Chain Gang. That leading group really are ripping it up here in the volcano circuit. You can just see the damage that's being done here. Everybody is lined out. There's just nobody. Everybody's absolutely killing themselves to stay with a rider. You want to be in a group on this. It makes all of the difference when you're coming in and through. So let's jump in with Jimmy Allen. We can have a quick check on his heart rate, 166. Now Bertie Widowson's right in this group. There's going to have to be some serious kicking going on. So Johnny Atkinson on the red bus, the gruppetto taking tickets and getting people up on board, just in with Mason at the moment. And this must have played into his hands with the sprint. Going to be a very fast sprint. We're missing Kieran Smith as well, one of our real fast sprinters. Just having a little bit of time off, not with us this time round. Big pack together. This is going to be interesting. Massive split opened up behind this group. You can just see Group 2 just about behind. Matt Nunn is there. How can Matt close this gap down? There's a big gap behind Dick Samuel, who's on the back of this group. Then it's Nunn and Taylor leading the chase. Killingsworth is behind. It's a couple of seconds that separates Group 1 and Group 2. There's not much in this. And then going to have to be very careful indeed because they know there isn't all that long. So it's going to be 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go when our riders hit the line this time. Well, it's leading group. No real contenders gone for it as yet. It's come up on to the rise. John Finney sat in the back of this group nicely at the moment. And now Ryan Williams starting to open in the throttle on the front. Craig Herring's heading back across the gap towards him. This could be a little dangerous breakaway forming up here. Isaac Oliver, Ryan Williams and Craig Herring. Herring goes for the power up to go in and through, so riding well in with them. Again, fastest times on the way through. 2 laps to go. 2 laps left to go. Herring, Oliver, along with Ryan Williams. The riders leading it through one long string as they come in and through here. Oh, Mason now goes on the front. Thorpe is behind now. Thorpe, a regular on the chain gang all the way through last winter, was a man who nearly had it so many times. Will he be able to take it home today? You can just see this mob of riders at the front of this group all getting together here. And that second group on the road just distanced a little bit here, but the pace picking up on that downhill. And now once that gap opens, the front push, the back groups will not get back in touch with them. You cannot afford to let the gaps go for any length of time whatsoever. And as these riders come through, you can see everybody's aware. They need to push now. Birmingham right up there. Kieran is in there as well. So Kieran Brown in this mix. Potts goes up onto the front. Chris Gale's in here. Eddie Dench is in here as well. Bertie Widderson in the group. Looks like Phil Oliver's in there. Pete Drabble, Richie Woodall in there. Mr. West in the group. I think just keeping a check. Mantis in this as well. So, Andy, you need to get it hardwired, mate. If you're getting dropouts every other minute, stable internet connection is everything. Overspeed, overpower it, and turn off, if you have an Apple TV, turn off anything like a Bose Bluetooth dock. That generally makes a huge difference. Now, onto the climb, and Booth now really is winding it up on the front here. You can just see trying to break it clear on the front is Booth, but he's closed down, and it's Cass who's closed him down this time round. So Booth puts the pressure on, tries to stretch it out, and you can see behind it is starting to get very, very close at the back of this pack as they come back together again. So this little detour into the volcano. You can just see the team coming through here. Smithson right up on the front here. Paul Simonite in here. Simonite has been very, very aggressive on the rise. Can he be the rider who's going to take it home? He's got Jimmy Allen moving up on his wheels. Craig Genther goes up onto the front. And 1.5 laps, not even that. 1 1/3 at the moment to go. Just seeing Simonite just moving on. So 1 full lap to go. 1 more lap to go. When we hit the line, it will be 1 more lap to go at the line. That is going to bring us in about 37. It will give people a little bit of a warm down. We won't go around and make 2 because we'll run out of distance, we suspect, for pretty much everybody on the way through. So just watching Paul Simonite. Will he be the rider to attack? Remember, as we go through the line, we have that slight drag up underneath the archway. These riders at the moment looking good as they come in around. They're going to be heading in to the island in underneath the volcano. This the leading group now down to about 18 riders in total. Josh Mayland in here from the Halo Wheel Squad coming through. Booth in here, Osman in this gang as well. Thorpe's in here, Smith in here, Jimmy Allen in this group. Now we're coming up into the volcano proper. It's going to be 1 lap to go as they hit the line this time. 1 lap to go as they hit the line this time. Now push up onto the banking past that lap banner. You can just see the split starting to open up. 1 more lap to go. Another fastest lap time for these riders as they come in and through. The question is, who has got the power to take this out? I would imagine it's going to go on that uphill kicker, but if you have a gap open up between you and the riders in front as we drop off the side here, you're going to be in trouble. Williams at the moment on the back of this group. Is he going to try and roll his way through? Nobody will want to let that gap go as they come out of the volcano. So everybody together, just keeping an eye on our riders as they drop down. Who's your money on here? This could come down to a sprint. I can't imagine that no one will go before we get down to the main section. Jimmy Allen, another great run by Jimmy, and a quick recalc by him. Now Jimmy Allen on the chain gang here, puts in a 10 watts per kilo kick. He also uses the aero power up to go clear here, and Jimmy Allen can take it to the line, but it looks like Thorpe has reacted super quick here, and Thorpe trying to close down the Wolf here. So Jimmy Allen, the Wolf, on the lead at the moment. He's got that yellow Beacon above him, and he's showing it off just like the yellow jersey lines riders extra speed. That yellow Beacon giving Jimmy extra pace, but he's not breaking this group up too much. They're wise to the wolf now. They know he's going to go for a long one, and that 10-11 watts per kilo kick not enough to take him away. Now let's keep a little bit of a check coming around that right-hand turn. It's Allen on the front, immediately behind him though. Thorpe coming, but look at the charge now as these riders come up and through. They're being led through by Simon Out and Widowson as they come through. They're the riders just up on the front. It's Bertie Widowson who pulls them through. Really kicking hard on his way in towards the line. So look at this. Widowson back in this group, and now it is Simonite who's gone on the front. He's really kicking hard, but this is the select group at the front. We have in there Mason in the all black with the disc rear wheel. We've also got Widowson with the orange socks and the black hips. Smithson in the red jersey. It is going to be a Drabble in that GB kit. Looks like Booth in this group with the red cross on the back there. Just keeping a little bit of a check. I think Birmingham just about to make contact here. So Birmingham it is who now joins in the black with that Wahoo jersey on, and just going to get himself in. So Thorpe in that light blue at the moment, tucked in here. Smithson on the front. They've only got 3 seconds, and not even that to the chasers behind. Genther's going to come across to them if he gets his pace right here. You can just see Genther sandwiched in between here. He's in the middle. That group at the front are going to get company very, very quickly. Looks like Josh Malin from Halo now trying to bridge across. They can't afford to relax in front. Varty's coming as well, and look at this group, and they're all starting to come back together again. So that group that had it to themselves on the front, they've let the gap go. They've got back all together again, and it really has all of a sudden become a big, big group of riders coming in to the circuit here, with Widowson leading them through. I think Ruby's going to get a prime spot to watch as they come blasting through here on the Donny Chain Gang tonight. So you can just see this is the leading group. They're coming in to the finish. Who is going to be able to take this out? That group's come back together. Dench is in here. Goddard's in here as well. All of a sudden the numbers swell. This is where things get very, very tight indeed. Now it looks like Mason has gone for a long one here, because Mason has gone early. If we take a look back from Mason, he's gone hard, he's gone early, he's gone quick. Has he gone too early? He's already making a decent gap here, 2 seconds, and Drabble, he's reacting, but he's not reacting quick enough. Mason, the man who lives on the top of Box Hill, he's doing the business here. Come on! This is the way to do it. Put it in a big kick, put it in early, and then see what happens. He went for it, he gambled. Is it going to pay off? They're coming behind. It's going to be close, but the gantry, the finishing line is coming for him, and it's coming quicker than he is going to see the riders behind. Gareth Mason takes it there as he comes through. Brilliantly timed attack. What a long run out. They were waiting for him to sprint. Drabble, Booth, Widowson, Williams, Smithson, Thorpe coming through. Mayland in that group. Dench in there. Isaac Oliver in there. Chris Gale in there. Looks like Smith's the rider just behind Gale. What a ride. Round 5-minute lap for our riders on the way through. That shows you just how hard that is. Now, Smith and Oliver are going to be heading towards the line together, and he's going to get rolled here. Smith gets rolled by Oliver. Oliver goes over the top and gets him on the way through. And then it's going to be Dan from the Evo team. We're going to drop back for Ruby as we go round onto the next lap. So Dan from the Evo squad comes through, just not quite able to hold that pace. But remember, plenty of time to get that dialed in now. The yellow Beacon making his way up towards the line. The man who instigated all the attacking there, Jimmy Allen, rolls his way up in towards the finish. Behind him, there's a real old sprint unfolding. So we're going to just jump back, and it's going to be Craig Herring who's going to take that sprint from Lindley, Tukey, Morn and West. Jimmy Allen goes through just with Richardson Mantis Sadler license. It is a really fast finish here as everybody sprints in. It's going to be Pillsworth ahead of McDermott. Canham just about leading home that sprint. Can't even keep up with the riders. They're coming through so fast at the moment. You can just see how quick this is. Right, managed to get back far enough to get into a group that is before that line. Great discipline from the gang. There's going to be a decent warm down because that was a brutal finish here. As Donoghue now starts to sprint here. Bale's on his heels, so Bale puts another kick in here. Bale's trying to get Donoghue. Donoghue's got to hold this. It's going to be tight between them. It's going to be wheel to wheel all the way to the line. And look at that. Donoghue just about holds out from Bale. Ambrose right on his heels. Coleman goes through. It looks like Tiff Fletcher. Good right back. Tiff there battling right the way into the line with that group. Gail Phillips in that group as well as they come in through the line. Bobby Mason on a great ride there once again as he goes in and through the line. We're just going to drop back next to Badger. Well, I bet there's some sore legs after that. A very short, sharp ride here tonight on the Donny Chain Gang. It's not even 7 o'clock and we've already got, it's under an hour. And these riders now feeling that pace. That was one very, very quick sprint. Now, next rider's coming in is going to be the man behind the 1080 promotions. Don't forget, of course, we've got lots of giveaways coming up. We've got the 12 DCGs of Christmas. We've got the Gritty Week, Climate Week next week. And, of course, we also have on the Chain Gang, the OTE week coming up in November as well. So make sure you're a member of the DCG gang. If you jump on the rides, it's great to have you. Thanks for joining us. But if you're a member of the gang, extra special thanks because it's those guys who basically keep the show on the road, keep the rides ticking in the world of Zwift, and keep on ensuring that we can make sure we can bring our gang members those great discounts. Now, Ian Taylor here, just seen Taylor. Tim Leary, just disappear off the front. That was absolutely brutal out there. Shaw's going to lead home Tullio. Good riding by Tullio. And then it's going to be Sanderson coming through. I think Tracy coming through. Tracy Seeley, Stuart Kirkham. Fraser comes through. Briggs on his way in towards the line. So Briggs is going to come through. Then we're going to have the group, which is going to be top listed. Then it'll be Atkinson and gang, the Red Beacons bus on his way in through. This is the man who was our beacon on Tuesday. Back into the cauldron that is the volcano tonight. And then going to be Mr. Topless back on the Chain Gang again. A man who had a complete shave start of that Movember, of course, and now going to be looking to get back his full bearded self as we move in towards the end of the month and get back to be as bearded as his avatar is at the moment. Darren Topless from Pine Cycles, he'll be our next rider in and through the line. So in he goes. So we're going to drop back and now to our group being led in by our Red Beacon. Great work done by Atkinson here. So it's going to be Atkinson, Tickers, Big Tez, Altaf Hussein, Andy Scotland in this group. Good riding one and all. Sonia Inslee tucked in there as well. Sonia, of course, a regular on the Chain Gang. I think that's 3 rides out of 3 for Sonia, who was on the Chain Gang yesterday as well as on Tuesday. Glutton for punishment, but an absolutely cracking ride by Sonia. We're going to drop back to Les. Les Wilcox is going to be our next rider coming in towards the line here. So Les is going to be our next rider in. We are going to try and get hold of we'll see if he's in one piece. It won't be long before we're back in with him as we see Les jumping his way up and through. Meanwhile, we are going to just have a little bit of a run out and round as we just try and make our way back. We're looking for a particular rider out on the course at the moment. Always tricky to see who is out there, but we are looking for one rider alone out on the course at the moment. If I see them, I'm going to shout. There we go. We've got them. So let's see if we can get hold of Jimmy. Jimmy, hopefully on the end of the line, the Wolf who is in charge of tonight's ride. And we do indeed have Jimmy. Jace, what a ride. That was absolutely frantic finish there, wasn't it?
We got it sorted in the end, didn't we? It's sort of, like I say, it was always going to be a bit tricky with the distance. We'd been a short circuit, short lap. So, but it ended up being a good little blast at the end there, and sort of, like I say, a bit cagey, like like a road race, and yeah, a few attacks. And yeah, I like it when it's like that. It's a bit more stimulating, you know what I mean? It's probably better for you, I guess, isn't it, to commentate on when it's a little bit more tactical.
It's oh yeah, I love attacking racing. I love aggressive racing. I love that. And one of the other advantages, we've just seen Ruby on her way in, and Ruby's got some company now, taking her into the finish, because Ruby just coming in for her finish. She's actually got riders around who have completed. You can see they're on 38.7, so just benefiting from the overrun. They are actually going to literally disappear out from around her. But this is where we'll see just how close it was to being able to squeeze in that extra lap here, as we're on the distance with Ruby. All the riders around are just on about 39k, so that little bit of overrun might have just about seen us in, but very, very dangerous indeed. But Ruby doing a great job again, and Ruby, of course, one of our younger people on the chain gang, and looking like she's riding very smoothly at the moment. Yeah,
but it loves to see young riders on the gang and giving it a go. It's not easy, like you've said before, that when you're that light, Zwift sort of makes it more difficult for you, doesn't it? Especially on the descent. So they're working almost twice as hard. But yeah, cracking effort, and it's great to see. Really, really a lot of respect for that.
Yep, definitely. And a great tenure by you. I know lots of people saying how good the leading was. Got to agree. Great stuff, mate, and good to have you leading and standing in for Russ. Russ goes back next week, which means that you can be all irresponsible and go attack her wherever you want.
Yeah, I can put the feet up next week, can't I? Sort of relax a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, a pleasure as always. Yeah, people saying thanks, but it's an honour and a pleasure. So thanks for everybody for keeping it tight, and thanks to you again, Matt.
No, my pleasure, Jimmy, and great to have you with us. And enjoy next week's routes. I know where we're going. It's gonna, yeah. Definitely. Well, it's Gritty week, and we've done some pretty monster routes as part of Gritty, so that'll give you a heads up of what's coming. So Ruby in.
I can feel a cough coming on.
Oh dear. Yeah, definitely. That might be particularly on Thursday. Loren, sorry, excuse me. I've got a bit of a plug in my throat. So we will let our riders roll down. Jimmy, thank you very much. We're going to let you do some recovery.
Matt, just before you go, I'm going through the finish now, and I'm on 39.7. So we could have done it, but there you go.
I know our distances are saying there's only 38k in the ride.
Yeah.
So that is going to take it very interesting.
It's better safe than sorry.
Here we go.
Better safe than sorry.
Let's see if we can just about get that on there on the screen. This is going to be really interesting with all the lights. But 38k. You can see, so you can just see we've got a little bit of overrun tonight, which is very entertaining. It means that people coming through and managing to get through. So we could just about have done it, but better safe than sorry. And do you know what? I really love that fast rip up. It meant that people really are going to have some stinging legs after what was a tough day on Tuesday. So open a cold one for us, Jimmy, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Yep, see you later, pal. Nice
Cheers,
one.
mate. Well, massive thank you to Jimmy. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's ridden tonight. Always fun when we go to a brand new route on the chain gang. It goes down in the notes, it goes down on the data sheets, and then we work out how we're going to tweak it and adjust it, and whether we want to go longer or shorter. Definitely a short one tonight, all over and done with just after 7 o'clock. Means it must be time for me to go grab an ice cream, grab a coffee, and I'll hopefully catch you either on Zwift, on the real roads in the real world, or of course on the chain gang next week. If you're a member of the DCG gang, you will be getting heads up of where we're going for Gritty week. We are back with Gritty, the Sustainable Sports Apparel, Caroline and Neil, with some great giveaways. Don't forget, members got a massive 20% discount off in your members email as well to celebrate Gritty being 1 year old, and of course to make sure that we are focused on the fact that it is the second week of the Climate Week of COP26 next week, and of course the Gritty kit as well has been amazing to wear, which I can definitely testify to. It is also sustainably produced, and really is doing its bit to make sure that we minimise our impact. So look out for details of where we're going. There to crackers of a route next week. Don't say you weren't warned. If you're a member, you'll get the links first. If you're a member of the DCG Gang, the sports club, you not only will you get the links first, you get the discounts, and you get involved in the giveaway. So big thank you to Scott Sports for their support this week of the gang, including the Women's Only Wednesdays. Make sure you get signed up, and of course, make sure you subscribe to the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. From me, Matt Payne. This week, last gig of the week. Yes! Time to go ride my bike. I'll see you next week.